My brothers and sisters, what is going on? Still sermon in the house, Saturday afternoon with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram, link in the description below. It's time I come out and come to terms with my real NBA team. Now, a lot of you, if you've been following my YouTube channel and if you've been following my content for all these years, you'd know my relationship with the NBA. When I was younger, like when I was in elementary school, middle school, and early high school years, I used to love the NBA. I really did. I liked it pretty much almost as much as I liked hockey. That's how much I loved it. And I always said that back then, I was a San Antonio Spurs fan, okay? But here's the thing. Over the years, I kind of realized that really the only reason that I liked the Spurs was just because of the big three. I don't really know anything about them before that other than, David Robinson. But, who doesn't know David Robinson? He's one of the most famous basketball players of all time. Greg Popovich, he still has my respect. In my personal opinion, he's the greatest NBA coach to have ever lived. And the Spurs dynasty, oh man, those were fun teams to watch. I mean, you win at least 50 games for 18 straight seasons, and you win 5 NBA titles. And still all the respect in the world to Tim Duncan. I mean, I still love Tim Duncan. I still love Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. They were staples of my childhood. I loved watching those Spurs teams, but I really don't know if I could really consider myself a diehard fan because they're going through a major rebuild right now, and honestly, I just couldn't find it in myself to, be attached to them. But, I still wish them the best. I still wish that they have a successful rebuild and that they get back to being competitive soon. I mean, I know they just got the first overall pick, but getting on to the premise of this video. About a couple months ago, I made a community post saying that I'm done with the NBA and I'm not going to follow it anymore. Mainly because of one player, LeBron James. Okay, and I know it's the most cliche sounding thing ever, but LeBron really was the root of why I am with the NBA right now. Because ever since he took his talents to South Beach to play for the Miami Heat with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, I have never rooted for a team so badly to not win a championship. And I used to and I will honestly and shamefully sit here and admit these guys on camera that there was a time where I actually liked LeBron. And that was his first stint in Cleveland with the Cavaliers when the Cavs were winning 60 plus and they were going to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost it in 2009 to the Magic, and then they lost in the second round, I believe, to Boston before taking out the Chicago Bulls in the first round. There was a time where I did like LeBron. But ever since that move to Miami, not only did that make me lose a lot of respect for him, but it made me lose interest in the NBA as well. Because ever since then, LeBron's teams went to the finals 8 straight seasons, and then the Warriors started winning. And I'm like, you know what? I don't really know if I want to follow this anymore because it's getting way too repetitive and it's getting way too predictable. So, for a while, I was really turned off by the NBA, and I actually went through a period where I didn't follow it. But then something happened in 2019. The Toronto Raptors beat the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. And I still like Kawhi Leonard too, by the way. The Raptors beat the Warriors in the finals. in their first finals appearance, and I'm like, maybe I can get back into this again. Nope. Lakers win the finals the next year. Granted, it was COVID and there were limitations with it, but still, LeBron winning another championship, I don't know. Milwaukee Bucks win the finals the next season over the Phoenix Suns. Okay, Giannis got his ring. Milwaukee's a good and upcoming team. I can live with that. Right back to Golden State winning it the next year. And at that point, and then what I thought did it for me was when LeBron passed MJ, who is the GOAT, okay? When he passed MJ for the all-time scoring leader, it's not so much that I don't like LeBron, because let's face it, he's easily a top 3 player of all time. In my opinion, you can't place him any lower than third, in my opinion. In my honest opinion, he's number 3 all time. He's behind, obviously, Michael Jordan, and in my opinion, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Then it goes to LeBron. At the very least, he's third all time. Most people put him as second best all time behind MJ. And his delusional fans put him at first. But that's what it is with LeBron. It's not so much the player, it's his fans that turned me off of the NBA. And it became something that I quickly did not want to be associated with anymore. Then, the Denver Nuggets win the NBA Finals. And the Joker, I really like the guy. He's one of my favorite players in the league right now. And I'm like, you know what? No LeBron, no Steph in the finals. I think we might, the Warriors, it seems like they're about to go through a massive rebuild and LeBron might be done. I think I can finally start enjoying the NBA again. And that's why over the course of the past couple of weeks, I did a lot of soul searching, and I'm like, I'm going to get back into the NBA again. I think this finals and these playoffs did it for me. Now all I got to do is find a team. And I remembered back when I was a kid, my dad was a big Chicago Bulls fan back in the 90s. He used to love watching Michael Jordan. He used to love Scottie Pippen, whose jersey I'm wearing right now. Mitchell and Ness 1995-96 throwback to be precise with it. The 95-96 Bulls, the greatest NBA team to have ever played. 72-10, won the NBA Finals over the then Seattle Supersonics. Just a fantastic, legendary team, But my dad was always a big Bulls fan in the 90s. And my dad nowadays, he's kind of like, he was kind of like me over the years with the NBA. He doesn't really care about it anymore, but he'll watch it if it's on. But I think out of all the teams that my dad would want me to be a fan of, it was the Chicago Bulls. And even back when I was claiming to be a Spurs fan, I always did respect and like the Chicago Bulls. I wasn't a fan of them, but I always respected them. Why? Obviously the history. You can't be an NBA fan and not at least like Michael Jordan. That's my honest opinion. Okay? But there's other reasons with that. Firstly, the logo. I've always loved the Bulls logo. I'm a simple guy. I'm the king of simplicity. Like if I'm dying of starvation, McDonald's will do. If I want to listen to rock and roll, AC/DC will do. If I want a bland logo for a sports team, something as simple as this will do it. But I just always loved the Chicago Bulls logo. And on top of that, the team name, Bulls, which implies power, strength, masculinity, aggression. And that's what I think an NBA team should play like. They should play like a bunch of bulls on the court. And through the 1990s, that's what the Bulls were. So dominant back then. And there were very few teams, if not any, that could defeat them. Their color is red and black. You know, my favorite color other than black and gold, obviously, is green. You know, because green's a positive color, but I also like red as well. Why? Because red is the opposite of green. And in life, you got to go through positives and negatives in order to develop and grow as a human and to understand this crazy world and this crazy thing that's called life. And that's why I love the colors green and red. And the Chicago Bulls are red and black. Chicago's a pretty nice city as well. I've been there before. It was a long time ago. Granted, I was in middle school back then. I took a field trip to Chicago. But I remember Chicago just being a really great town. Great sports town. Great people as well. And overall, I mean, like I said, it's just that connection with my dad, you know. If there was any team that he'd want me to be a fan of, it is the Chicago Bulls. Now, obviously, do I love the Bulls yet? Not yet. Because it's kind of like getting into a relationship, you know. You don't immediately love the person at first. That takes time to say, you know, I love you or I love this team, you know. It's different with the Pirates, Steelers, and Pens because I've been fans of those teams for decades, okay? But for the Bulls, I'm a newfound fan. And I'm still in the stage where I like them, and I'm building it up, and I'm learning more about them, and I'm learning, you know, who they are. Obviously, last year the Bulls had an okay season. Nothing terrible, but nothing great as well. 40-42. I mean, I definitely see talent that the Bulls have, and I think it's kind of stupid that a lot of fans don't believe in Zach LaVine. Almost said Adam Levine, but it's kind of stupid that Bulls fans don't believe in Zach LaVine. And I got my personal opinion on Billy Donovan, and I'll have my videos up about the draft. But yeah, as far as my NBA fandom goes, I now officially consider myself a Chicago Bulls fan. I'm coming out. I'm seeing red. Got the devil horns up. And I'm going to start making some content here. And I don't know if that might mean a name change or if that might mean a new intro, one or the other. But the fact of the matter is, I'm going to try and start making more NBA content. I'm a guy who does not make guarantees. I'm a guy who does not make promises. I'm a guy who's saying I'm going to try to make more NBA content. So there you go right there. San Antonio Spurs, they still mean a lot to my childhood. Those teams I still really enjoyed watching, but I leave them on good terms knowing that they had some of my favorite teams and favorite players I've ever seen, but I think it would work this way. The Spurs dynasty were the teams that got me into the NBA, but I would think the NBA would want me to be a Chicago Bulls fan officially. So there you go with that. I mean, Pittsburgh obviously doesn't have an NBA team. I don't foresee Pittsburgh having an NBA team. I mean, Pittsburgh's just not a basketball town, you know. So the way I see it, I can root for whoever the hell I want when it comes to the NBA. But, yeah, I'm just coming on here, and I'm officially coming to terms with it. I am indeed a Chicago Bulls fan when it comes to the NBA. So I already follow Locked On Bulls. I follow this Chicago Bulls content maker who's very insightful. I've gotten a lot of info out of him so far, and he keeps up, he keeps his channel real and very informative when it comes to the Chicago Bulls. It's simply called Chicago Bulls Central. Today he just made a video addressing the state of the Bulls salary cap and free agency, so gonna look into that more. But yeah, man, add a new one to the fan base, man. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This is Steel Sermon checking on out for the day. May God be with you all. Let's go Bulls, man.